When you're only 8 years old, many kids pick books with page-long pictures. The 8-year-old Austin used this.
Well, Spain has the running of the bulls, but here in Alaska, it's a completely different tradition. It's the running of the reindeer. And just down the street here, more than 2,000 eager participants are. Thanks, John. I'm joined with South High School head coach Taylor Nerland. The Oklahoma City Barons, that's an AHL team, is due in large part to Shaquan Rhodes' clutch performance in the first half, which helped them secure victories. But for Taylor Nerland, he says it's just one game at a time. Names like these, it's easy to see why so many people have checked out instead of checking in. Mark McKenna and his team were last year's champions, and in a playful sense, you can call this the calm before the storm. That's because we're just one day away. Number 2, who is the best student section in all of the cooking in the conference?
West High! Get him up!
Can we get him right? West High! 12-3, and that just proves how dominant of a team the Lady Lions really can be in Anchorage Christian. They got out to a 22-0 run last night, so they really have. Coaching basketball requires a black and white skill set, determination,
You're not. So you're not denying. You got to get your right foot forward.
drive.
It brings us together. He's a really good guy.
He's like a player, honestly.
Judging from the sidelines, Christopher Alston is an ordinary coach with an extraordinary gift.
Does it help? Some. For others, it's just entertainment. For others, it's like, I'm ready to play this game. After that, yeah, I'm ready to play this game.
Coach Vocals, as he's affectionately known, gives the pregame pep talk just like any other coach. However, this pump-up speech has a rhythm and a rhyme. The rhyme has a reason. His audience, much like his beginnings, simply captivated.
When you're only 8 years old, many kids pick books with page-long pictures. The 8-year-old Austin used this. A simple dictionary with words in black and white to help him refine his craft, and also to help create and paint a colorful masterpiece.
I found cat hat, bat, rat, and like we just exercise and go through the words in the dictionary that could rhyme with them. And from longer words to short words, it just be like, oh man, that's cool.
And eventually his talents were amplified. Today, Coach Vocals is the opening artist for Alaskan rapper Young Block's debut album. But after you've been around the block or two, a coach's skill set seems to become more gray. Reporting from Westside, do it again, where it's all about the style, I'm Jake Ryle. You know what to think. This is your Alaska Link. The 2012 Car Safeway Great Alaska Shootout came to a close on Saturday night. Another banner was going to be raised, and shortly after the championship, teams packed their bags to return to their respective campuses. But they didn't do so without having a week that's worth talking about. Let's go ahead and relive the special moments from this year's shootout with a week in review. They came on planes only a week ago and were welcomed with Alaskan hospitality. I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. A first for many teams.
And we don't have anybody on this trip that's ever been to Alaska, so it's going to be new to everybody. We have a tremendous host that's going to take care of us. We have a trip to the wildlife preserve and gonna see the sights. And there were plenty of sights to be seen. On Tuesday, Belmont had the chance to make friends with Alaska's version of their mascot.
We've been talking about this bear for days. Oh, interaction. Gotta give him a
Oh, yeah, he was peeing.
Oh, man, you. He's going. That's just selfish. He used the bathroom and went back to bed.
While the men's teams were having their fun, the women's field was in the midst of their tournament. The Utah State Aggies gave quite the show in the first round, right down to the wire.
I thought it was a bit left. The one shot tonight I thought was in, and it went in, so that's a little bit lucky for me, I guess.
UAA pulverized the Bisons in their first round matchup, but would ultimately take home second place in this year's tournament. Across town on the same day, the men's teams were filling up with good food and a couple good jokes.
Off the hair right off your head, but looking around the room, I believe several of you have already heard that one.
But when the first ball was tipped for the 2012 Cars Safeway Great Alaska Shootout, the joking was pushed to the wayside. Belmont proved to be too much for the Seawolves, and Warren Niles single-handedly brought down Loyola Marymount.
I think our players got together and decided they wanted Warren Niles to go right to the Hall of Fame in Springfield after tonight's game. He'd be a first ballot shoe-in the way we got it.
Some may say the grandiose of the historic tournament has faded in recent years, but this year's tournament still packed a punch of good talent. Speaking of packing, 2 players were able to pack their bags to fly home for the first time to play in front of their Alaskan family.
I loved it. It's like a dream come true playing here. Because growing up, I was always at this tournament, so playing here is just a dream come true.
All my family and stuff were in the stands, so that's probably happened twice, 2 or 3 times in the last 4 years. So it was just a great thing to look up and see my family and friends up in the crowd.
Unique. A lone word that comes to mind when thinking of this year's shootout. Unique is a Division II team that beats out half the Division I field. Unique are the moments that will last beyond the basketball games. Unique is a team called the 49ers being able to grasp onto the gold. For the players, it just doesn't get any more unique than that. They came on planes. They left as champions.
We number 1.
The Alaska Aces breaking the century mark in season points seemed like a sure reality 1 week ago, but a 4-game losing skid, including 3 at home, drew calls for question. But fans, and I'm sure the players, can breathe a sigh of relief tonight. They've broken the 100-point mark with a 5-3 win over the Eagles. That's right, Brad Moussard. The Aces had a lead at 2-1, lost that lead, but thanks to Bobby Hughes' 2 goals, Alaska scores 3 unanswered for the win. The Aces now the 23rd team in league history to push past the 100-point mark, the first to do so since Idaho Steelheads in 2009 and 2010. Now the Aces are back on the ice tomorrow for the series finale. Then it's off to Ontario for the Ontario Reign in the last 2 games of the season. In baseball, it's considered a sweep. 3 wins in as many games, but for the Service High Cougars basketball team, it's just another day in the office. It's the 3 times they've met. Service defeated West by 27, 21, and 19. To the semifinal round we go. Service's Adam Cly, Amu Casatino, and Marquise Robinson combined for 55 in last night's win, but West had a good showing in the first. Adam Cly is going to hit a long ball for Service. The Eagles, though, would keep Cly at bay. He only had 10 points on the night. Rusty Osborne there, he has his eye on a few players. West goes up in the first half due in large part to Theo Akide. He's a sweeper under the basket. More from him. If he was in a fraternity, I believe it would be called Phi Slamma Jamma. He brings back the Houston Cougars of the 80s. Service, though, is going to pull strong in the second half on hot shooting from Amu Acusatino and Marquise Robinson. They add 38 points and would win 63-54. Now in the other boys 4A matchup, East actually knocks off Colony 62-61. That game went right down to the buzzer, so it looks like East will be taking on Service for this year's state title run. Now to the girls' side now, a Northern Lights matchup against Colony and Wasilla. The Lady Warriors have yet to lose this season, and Alexis Imo is a good reason for that. She gets the dribble drive in for 2 of her 13 points. Wasilla playing with the heart of a Warrior. Good ball movement here for the Lady Warriors. Amanda Hutchins is going to get the ball at the top of the key, and I think I'm going to have what she's having. Knights look for some momentum, though. Jennifer Solano is going to get the ball here after the ball goes into the lane. Solano with a deep 2 bucket. She only had 4 on the night. No Knights score in double digits. Wasilla wins 48-23. Now to the other 4A girls semifinal, the Lady Lynx, well, they're fortunate just to be in this one. It took a last-minute 3 to land them in the semis, but they would take full advantage of it. Robin Huss is going to put up the Lynx by 15 in the third. Lathrop's Ruthie Hubbard, however, has made a name for herself in Fairbanks. She shot 6 of 11 tonight, 3-point play here, and would finish the night with 19 points. But, you know, it was just too little too late. The Lady Lynx shoot 40%, hit 81% from the charity stripe, and Diamond is seeking a title win with a 67-51 win tonight. Now, tomorrow's championship will be held at 6 p.m. For the 3A bracket, the Monroe Catholic Rams know what it's at stake if they win tonight. It's an opportunity to once again play Anchorage Christian in the state championship. if the Lions win tonight. For the second time in 2 years, it's just a lot of ifs. And in their way, a very good Bethel team, which played ACS down to the wire earlier this season. Wait a minute, is that a celebrity alert? I believe that's Duck Dynasty Cy. Yes, it is. I believe it is. To the game, though. Elliot Hoffman is going to get the bucket here for Bethel and the foul. Bethel's Theodore Naning, 16 points, would lead the effort, but the Monroe Catholic Rams shoot 58% from the field, including Scooter Bynum's 5 of 7 shooting to scoot in 18 points. Tyler Wells and Michael Hale tally 11. The Rams are back. 59-43 is your final. Now in other action, the ACS boys defeated Mount Edgecombe by 40 points. 81-41. Nathan Simmers adds 18, and Calvin Hoffman pushes in 14. And guess what, folks? It's a title rematch. To the girls' side, Anchorage Christian blows by, and I mean blows by Sitka by 32. The Lady Lions big gulp their way 7 for 11 behind the arc. Dallas Dickerson and Sarah Gagel add 22 and 20 respectively. That duo will be one to watch in the state tournament. And advancing to play ACS in the final, well, it's the Barrow Lady Whalers. Another duo to follow, Lynette Hepa and Hillary Lowry. They combined for 40 in their win. The 3A girls kickstart tomorrow's championship games, 1:30 p.m. on the main floor. The Sullivan Arena now has been front and center in the news this week, but another stadium in Anchorage finally has a name. The University of Alaska Anchorage's new arena will be called the Alaska Airlines Center. University officials announced the name Thursday afternoon. In return for naming rights, the Seattle-based airline has pledged to donate $6.3 million to the university over 10 years, and that includes a $1 million scholarship endowment fund, $40,000 a year for that endowment. But the bulk of the money will help UAA fly athletes to away contests. The 5,600-seat, $109 million arena is scheduled to open in the fall of 2014, and we can only hope that the Sullivan Arena might get some much-needed improvements after this nice arena comes into Anchorage.